April Collins has lived one of the most harrowing and complex gangland stories in modern Irish crime. Her journey, marked by youthful naivety, fierce loyalty, betrayal, and survival, reads like something from a gritty crime drama. But for her, it's a brutal and ongoing reality. Welcome back to Crime Chronicles. Today's story looks at how one woman's courage led police to solve the shocking murder of an innocent man. Stay tuned as we see how April Collins' turn on the witness stand proved that she had more backbone than the gangland thugs she was related to and in relationships with. But her bravery might have put her in danger for the rest of her life. Born in 1987, April grew up in a tough working-class district on Limerick's south side. Her family, the Collinses, were well known in the community, but not for good reasons. Her father, Jimmy Collins, was a man of gangland stature, linked closely to the McCarthy-Dundon Crime Alliance, a group that held Limerick in the grip of violence and fear throughout the early 2000s. The city was consumed by a bloody gang feud between the McCarthy-Dundon faction and the rival Keane Colopy gang, which saw shootings, beatings, and killings become grimly routine. In this lawless environment, April was just 15 when she began dating Gerard "Ger" Dundon, one of the younger members of the notoriously violent Dundon family. The Dundons, alongside their McCarthy cousins, were gaining dominance in Limerick's underworld. For most teens, love means puppy dog eyes and awkward text messages. For April, it meant falling into the orbit of one of the most feared crime dynasties in Ireland. As the feud escalated, the Dundon brothers, Wayne, John, and Gerard, became synonymous with terror. April's relationship with Ger deepened, and they had 3 children together. But love and motherhood came with a price. Her days were split between raising young children and navigating the volatile, violent world of her partner and his family. Her own father, Jimmy Collins, publicly declared his allegiance to the McCarthy-Dundon alliance, even posing for the media to show off gang tattoos. He was no mere bystander, he was an active figure in the feud. And in 2010, as tensions reached a boiling point, April's mother was directly threatened by Wayne Dundon, who warned that her sons would be killed if the Collins family didn't fall into line. The relationship between April and Ger began to fray. By 2010, the couple had split, a dangerous move when the man you leave is part of a feared gang, and his brothers are even more ruthless. Her attempt to distance herself only incited the wrath of Ger's older brothers. John Dundon, in particular, began harassing her. One day, in early April of 2011, he banged furiously on her door, yelling, "I know you're in there, you fucking bitch. When I get you, I'm going to kill you." That moment changed everything. April had given years of loyalty to the Dundons. She stood by Ger through court cases and feuds, bore his children, and was part of the gang's inner circle. But now, she was a liability. That spring, she approached the police. She was ready to talk. April's decision to cooperate was not taken lightly. She knew the cost. In gangland circles, nothing is more despised than a rat. But she also knew she had no choice. The intimidation she faced had reached breaking point, and she feared for her children's safety. What she revealed stunned investigators. In 2008, an innocent man named Shane Geoghegan, a 28-year-old rugby player, was gunned down in Limerick in a botched gang hit. The intended target was John McNamara, a known associate of the Keane Colopy gang. April testified that she had been in the room when John Dundon plotted the murder, instructing a new recruit, Barry Doyle, on McNamara's movements. April was even involved in setting up an alibi for Ger by booking a hotel stay the night of the killing. But the hit went horribly wrong. Doyle mistook Shane for the target and shot him 5 times. The murder shocked the nation. A completely innocent man was slaughtered on his doorstep. For years, the case went cold. But April's testimony breathed new life into it. Based on her account, Barry Doyle was arrested and in 2012 sentenced to life in prison. That alone was monumental, but the state wanted more. They wanted the man who ordered the hit. In 2013, John Dundon stood trial for Shane's murder at Dublin's Special Criminal Court. April, by then a mother of 4 and physically worn down by stress and illness, gave detailed testimony. She relived the events, described the planning of the murder, and faced down the man she claimed had threatened to kill her. Her evidence was supported by phone records and CCTV footage. The court ruled that John Dundon was guilty and sentenced him to life imprisonment. It was a landmark victory in the war against the McCarthy-Dundon gang, and April Collins was instrumental in it. But she paid a heavy price. Although now under some form of state protection, April continued to live in Limerick. While Roy Collins, no relation to her, had been murdered in 2009 in an act of revenge for his father's testimony against Wayne Dundon, April refused to flee her hometown. She chose to stay, albeit at great risk. In 2017, she married Thomas O'Neill, a man with a violent past, but who had stood by her during the trials. They adopted the surname Sheehy, an attempt to break from their infamous names. But trouble followed. O'Neill, far from being reformed, drifted into the drug trade and in 2023 was arrested for street-level dealing. He was sentenced to 2 years in prison. His involvement in the criminal world reopened old wounds and triggered a new feud. In October of 2023, gunshots were fired at April's father's home. Luckily, no one was hurt, but the message was clear. Then, in April of 2025, a lit pipe bomb was hurled into April's garden, exploding in a massive fireball. CCTV footage showed a masked attacker throwing the device. It was yet another terrifying reminder that April's past had never truly let her go. Local feuds intensified, and her family was once again caught in the crosshairs. Not as aggressors this time, but as targets. Police carried out raids, seizing weapons, drugs, and over €235,000 in illicit assets. Still, the violence persisted. Through it all, April has not been accused of any wrongdoing. Those who know her say she is focused on raising her children and trying to live a quiet life. But peace has remained elusive. She lives with the constant knowledge that her testimony, her decision to tell the truth, marked her forever in Gangland's eyes. Once, she had been a teenage girl in love. Now, she is a mother of 4, a reluctant informant, and a woman still looking over her shoulder. In court, years earlier, she summed it up with painful clarity. I don't lead any charmed life. No one would like to lead the life I'm living. In 2025, that life remains under siege. Thank you for joining us today on Crime Chronicles. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the channel with your friends.